Alright, so here we are again. We're going to now cover the job allocation side of things. Sales and support, I suppose you could call it. This will be Dennis's task, where he'll create jobs and push them out to employees and respond to each job and their tasks. So the first thing we need to do is log into the system, as we all know how to do that, one and one. Okay, so we log in, it opens up. Ideally, the area that we're going to cover is the jobs. So we'll go and check jobs out. And okay, what we can see here is we've already got 3 jobs that have been processed today. As we do this sheet, there is the fact of the matter is that it's business as usual, and we are trialing and looking for faults still. And we're doing sort of like a test-based run of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new job, and we're going to allocate a job. So what we might do is I'll try and find an example of it, maybe an email. So let's see if we can find something like that. Alright, so I found this job. It's an email. It's asking about a pipe investigation. It's giving me an address. It's giving me a phone number, the landlord, so all the relevant information that I need to create this job. So first things first, what we're going to do is we have gone create a new job. Now, one thing that's always good to do is to in fact give it an ID that's relevant to the job. So in this situation, probably what the best thing that I could do is let's generate an ID job number based on who is going to do the job. So what we'll do is we'll give the job to, we'll use Julian, so we'll go Jules, and we'll give it a job test because we're doing an exercise, 001, and what we'll do is we will provide Julian as the gentleman that's going to look after the job. As you can see here, it allocates a 2-day period by default. Next field is actually the information that's relevant to the job. So what we can do here is we'll put the address in here. What I tend to do as well is I will put in the phone number and the name of the tenant straight after that, which you will see why later. And we will also get a description of the problem. So pipes having blockage, and what else can we say? Investigation with your camera down pipe. So just an example of what we could actually say. Now, as we recall before, most of our jobs are coming from a real estate agent. So you can see here we've got a body corporate or a real estate agent. Let's see if we can find them on the list. So, okay, so what we're going to do is, it is in fact not locatable here. AMI Realty, let's see if I've got them up the top. AMI Realty, I do apologize, here they are. So we select these guys, and we can also put the contact number, or we'll put the contact landlord's name down the bottom here. So as you can see here, we've completed a job that we're going to push through to one of the phones, and by doing that we go save. As you see, it says the job has been successfully saved and updated. So we can exit that, and you can see that that job has appeared on the screen. So with the information posted through, we should be able to go and have a look at Jules. So what we'll do is we'll grab his handset. We've got it in the cradle. We will log off. We'll see where we're at with this phone. Alright, well what we've got here is that he's representing the warehouse. So let's just log in and put him in a ute. So we'll go sync. We want to put him in ute 2 because that's what he is, and we want to download that from the server, so we'll have to just wait patiently for that to happen. Okay, so we've done the server upload to make it become ute 2. So we'll just log off again, making sure that it is the correct user and the correct ute. Yeah, good on ya. So just log in as 1 and 1. You can see we're ute 2 in Julian, and we'll log in. So what we should be able to do is view the job, and as you can see here, the Jules test job is available, and I can adequately get all the information. So you can see here it tells me pretty much what I've written in those input boxes. Blockage needs investigation with a camera, and then the address there, and of course, as you remember, I put the name and the phone number of the tenant so that the plumber can get in touch with anybody on site to get access to the building perhaps. So you can see here, that is how a job is created. So from this end, you can see that we'd actually we'd created a new, we'd given it a job number, we'd picked a plumber and a vehicle, we gave a specific time that needs to be done in, the address, the description. We made sure we attached the real estate or body corporate for that job, and we also put the site manager for that real estate location there too, for God knows what reason, but I have. So anyway, that is what you can see. So you can see us here, and then alternatively, when we come over here, you can also see the job. So let's start the job. We'll quickly just process it. Let's have some fun. Let me just go and get a product, and we'll just push a few items through and just give you yet another example of how it works. I know I've done it once or twice before in other videos, but it's always good to be reminded again. So I'll just get some product, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got a few items here. Let's just scan them quickly and get this process happening. So one of those items, which is a T connector. We'll remove that. We'll try the next item. Which is a elbow. Okay. Wait a sec. Remove that. And then a coupling joiner. I suppose that's what you call it. Listen to me, think I'm a plumber. We'll add one of those. Now what we'll also do is we'll add a scan code, a labour charge. So let me just pick one of those. So that one was 1.5, which is 5, which is the flicker mixer completely replaced. We'll do one of those. We'll pick another one on the bottom, which is the trap being replaced, one of. We will then do a labour charge of 11, which is 5.5 hours. Okay. And then we'll also add, I think that's all we'll do. So we've added those two items, a labour charge. Let's do a DENIS, if I can manage to pull that off. Just to give you an example of a DENIS code. We'll remove that. Okay, so now that we've finished, we were just doing an exercise which was pretty much what would happen in a job. We've picked some items that we'll be using, some labour examples that we can scan as codes to put on the invoice, as well as the labour charges and a DENIS attachment, be aware code as well. So we'll close that. We will complete that job. Now, we'll just give it a moment. I do know it says that it just saved the job, but I'm going to check on that. So I'll go back inside. I can see the job is gone. Now when I come over to here and I click search, I see that that job disappears. So if I pick that job and today's date, if I pick completed jobs and today's date, it should narrow me down to the ones that have been completed for today, and I can see in here that here is the job. I can also have a look at the items of the job. So I can see that I had a T connector, an elbow, like I said, a coupling joiner. We had the two descriptions, which was replace the kitchen mixer and replace the rubber traps. We put a 5.5 hour labour charge on that, and we also added a code for DENIS. So you can see that it successfully worked there. Now, in this instance, let's just say Julian scanned an item and closed the job and then realized that he'd made the mistake of adding too much information. It is very easy for DENIS to pick the item and to delete it. Okay, so you can see here that I'm going to pick the item that says replacing the kitchen mixer, and I'm going to say I want to remove one quantity item. You can see that it removes. I also have the option that if Julian turned around and said he forgot to add something, I can go into the system. I can say Julian is in U2. So I pick U2 and I look for that item that he forgot to add. And I can look down here and like you could see before, I took out the description. I could then go back and have a look for the one that he was missing, which was, I can't remember, but let's pick replacing kitchen mixer cartridge, because I think it was something like that. I can select that item. It asks me how many I want. I say 1, and you can see that it will then re-add it to the bottom of the jobs that have been of the codes that have been added. Now from here, I generally have the habit of pressing save. In this instance, it's wanting to say we want to push it through the MYOB, but we're not, because we're still in a training mode. And in a fault finding mode, we're going to say no, and we're going to go and exit. Now you can see we're in the completed. You can still see that here. What will happen is from there, DENIS will be able to actually print an invoice. So if the invoice was satisfactory and he didn't need to make any changes, he could just email or fax or mail that invoice, and I'll show you how that will come up looking. Now, when the MYOB component is properly attached and you have MYOB invoices, as you saw before, it asked me if I wanted to, in fact, push that through to MYOB, and I said no. Well, in the future instances, he'll be able to push that through to MYOB, where that will give then Michael the ability to amend any changes that need to be made, and to push that through to the client as well for payment. So now I've got the example here. As you can see, we have a single page invoice. You can see here that the items have been put in here, the remove of the rubber and also the replacing of the kitchen mixer cartridge, as well as a code here saying that DENIS needed to be discussed urgently. We also have at the bottom here the 5.5 hour labour charge, and we also have materials, but they will not come up. It will only specify that there were materials, and they will be equated and added to the subtotal, as you can see here. I would imagine that 5.5 hours labour would be a lot of money. It would be something like $400. So you can see $470 would easily be the labour and a couple of the items. So there you go. You can see how that works. You can tell that right from the very beginning, from when we were at this position here, all the information that is scanned through here is relevant to what comes up in the invoice. So it is always important to be vigilant as well as clear and make sure that you scan the right items, because it will carry across all the way to the invoice component. So yeah, that is covering the adding of jobs. We have logged into the front end, understand the different categories in creating a job, how it's pushed through to a plumber, adding items and removing items from a job, closing a job and sending it to MYOB. Well, that we kind of covered, and closing